Let me welcome you tonight to Fly and Seas. I think this is our 6 or 7 Traveling Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we are traveling to Indonesia today. Before we go there, I'd just like to say a few words about our company and what you can expect tonight. Those of you who have repeatedly been on these calls already know what to expect. So we will introduce everyone, and then we'll be talking about where is North Sulawesi. Some of you may not ever have heard of that. Do a little bit geography lesson. You will hear about the passport to paradise and what that is. We'll also get some COVID protocols and updates, and then you will hear about Murex and Lembeh Resorts in more detail. And drum roll, we will have a draw tonight. Most of you probably have seen that. And we have Q&A at the end. So keep your questions till the end. You can then type them into the chat room at the end. And then we will also announce where we will be going next in 2 weeks' time. So just a few words about our team, Fly and Sea Dive Adventures. You'll see the 6 of us here on the screen. We have been in business for almost 25 years, and dive travel is all that we do all day long. So we travel with, right now, our finger around the globe and emails and websites. We have over 70 years of combined expertise and experience between the 6 of us, and present pretty much all major dive destinations in the world, as well as resorts, dive operators, and liveaboards. We are IATA certified and appointed, so we've got all the licenses to be able to issue our tickets ourselves. And we do both group trips as well as individual custom trips when you want, how long you want, and where you want. As I was preparing for this presentation, just a little anecdote, I realized that 2004, I got an invitation to go on my first tropical dive trip. I only had 4 open water dives. And so the question was, is this okay? Is this doable for me? And where did I go? To Mabul and Sipadan first, and then we went to North Sulawesi, Lembeh Strait. And I got my dive log out today, and this is what it says. On the 18th of April 2004, my 13th dive, Lembeh Resort, arrived at 5 p.m., in the water by 5:45 p.m., a dusk night dive on the house reef. The others saw mandarin fish. I saw a stargazer. And I've been hooked ever since. I've been back several times, and the critter hunting there is just out of this world, especially if you can discover it yourself and you're not waiting for the dive guide to find something or somebody else. I do also want to say this. Sometime early next week, you will find a nice version of this recording on our YouTube channel, where you can also see all the other recordings of our past webinars on Traveling Thursdays. I am going to introduce Lembeh and Murex resort people, and then we'll hand it over. I think it's Danny and Lexi who are going to take it from here.
Thank you, Petra. And thank you, Irene, everybody at Flying Sea, for inviting us to make this presentation. We're really grateful to you, and it's great to see you, and it's great to see everybody. My name's Danny Charlton, one of the owners of Murex Resort and the owner of the dive center at Lembeh Resort. Next to me is my daughter, who's staying home this semester from school. On the screen is Julia, who some of you may already know, and Tarkin, who's our guest relation manager at Lembeh Resort. Now, before we begin, see, we have a secret recipe, anti-corona recipe. It's called jamu, and it's a miracle worker. which is why nobody in Indonesia is sick from this lousy thing that's going around. And so just to make sure we're up to snuff, we're going to have a little drink before we continue. Now, the good news is when you come and visit us, we will gladly turn you on to this stuff. There's no preservatives or anything, so sorry, can't ship it. And we're going to talk about the Passport to Paradise. And the history of that is similar to what Petra said. My father-in-law, my wife, if you could see where I'm circling down here, Angelique, in fact, she may come in and say hi. Her father is the pioneer of scuba diving in North Sulawesi, and he started Murex as the first resort actually in North Sulawesi back in 1988. In 2002, he started Bangka, which we're going to show you. And at about the same time, Angelique and I started Lembeh Resort in 2002. In 2013, Angelique and I and our partners, her sister, bought the business on terms from her folks. And we tied all three properties together, and that's when we came up with the Passport to Paradise. So that's the history. And of course, we're going to show you a video, talk about Passport to Paradise. We're going to talk about COVID-19, unless you don't. Anyway, we'll talk Murex, Manado, Bangka, Lembeh, and then very importantly, the Lembeh Foundation. So some of you don't know by a show of hands, but some of you may not have come to this area. Just a real quick map of Southeast Asia on the gateway. Singapore, Jakarta, or Bali will get you on up to North Sulawesi. And to give you an idea, we just put in that Raja Empat segment to show you how it's an hour flight. Passport to Paradise. This is a picture of our place in front of Bangka Island. But basically what we're doing is tying three distinct different dive destinations together with a boat trip between locations. Super easy. So flying to North Sulawesi, it's almost like going on 3 dive trips. A couple of logistics about Passport to Paradise. You arrive at the first resort of your choice. It could be Bangka, it could be Lembeh, it could be Manado. And from resort to resort is super seamless. We take your luggage in a separate transport, and it's waiting for you at the next location. So it's really super seamless. You don't waste any time. You go on the boat, you start doing dives between the 2 resorts. Enjoy. That's our shortened version of the Passport to Paradise video. This is just giving you an idea of the training we're doing during COVID and bringing all our staff up to speed with the new protocols. We're using Indonesia government protocols as well as our own internal protocols and based on the CDC. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of different training. And some of the other things we're doing, which is, sort of what Petra mentioned regarding the opportunities here. We're taking time with training captains, training boat hands, training even dive guides use smartphones and computers. Some of the work we're doing out at Bangka, and I just love having this slide in here. These guys with these big old hammers taking the big rocks that you see and breaking them down to a foundation stone. These beautiful volcanic, this is a lava flow that went through. One of the things that Angelique and I, and also Ray, the owner of Lembeh Resort, we've been talking about for a long time is farm-to-table organic fruits and vegetables. We have things at all three properties growing now. It ebbs and flows. It's been a great year, 2020, and even now was a great year to start all this because there has been a lot of rain, which has been great for people here. Everybody who's got a little piece of land is starting to farm it, grow their own food. Nobody is hungry in this country. This is what we use as the natural pesticide. Now, with organic farming, you need to attend to it much more than traditional farming. So we spray this 2 to 3 times a week until we get control of it, and then it backs off to maybe once a week. But the nice thing is you can come up, pick a tomato off the vine, and just eat it without even washing it. Just wipe it on your shirt if you want to, or just have at it. Boats, resorts, is at Lembeh. Just a lot of work and a lot of follow-up and continuous effort to improve the product. The tropics, although you're seeing beautiful palm trees behind us and so forth, it's a very harsh environment. Nothing like the cold and snow y'all have, but it's just keeps at it, the moisture, and it just keeps after things. And if you don't stay up on it, man, it doesn't take long before it begins to deteriorate. This has been a great effort, this one here, by the Lembeh Foundation, and Tarkan and Katrin, our GM, and Julia have put this together. I don't know how many masks they've given away, but hundreds and hundreds of masks that the foundation has supported and given away to people in the villages. And it's pretty cool when you're walking through the village. You know which masks came from the Lembeh Foundation. They're more colorful and have stuff going on. And here's another initiative we started right at COVID because I felt that, of course, we're cutting people's salary and we had to let go of a lot of people. It was just economics. We've retained more than you would imagine, and by virtue of the construction budgets that we already had in place, we've got dive guides mixing cement, and we've got waitresses cutting shrubs, and boat hands digging ditches and so forth, and pounding nails. This here is super important. Water in Indonesia all comes from, it's all processed, and it's expensive over time. So this is Dutch technology, and a friend of ours, a Dutch guy, actually imports these into the country. And I think we've given away close to 200 families these simple filters, and these folks no longer have to buy water or boil water. And this is just what they came in, and to give you an idea, and that's my lovely wife next to it. This is just some photos of the distribution, and Lexi now is going to show you the protocol, the COVID protocol video that we put together and is implemented.
What we need to care about even more than before is to make our team members and our guests safe and comfortable.
Murex Resort and careers at Lembeh Resort are ready to welcome you. Our staffs are fully trained in post-COVID protocol, and every department in each of our resorts and dive operations have procedures in place to ensure our guest safety, comfort, and enjoyment. Our new procedures cover every aspect of our operations, and we are fully compliant with CDC, WHO, and the Indonesian government regulations. Dive and stay with us without worry. We are looking forward to meeting you.
Okay, so let's talk about the diving and the resorts now. This gives you an idea of the proximity from one location to the next. The first the first side you see Bangka National Park here, and then it moves over to Bangka to the north, and then of course Lembeh Strait to the southeast.
So Murex Manado opened in 1988, and it's pioneer of scuba diving in North Sulawesi. It's located directly across from Bangka National Marine Park, and it's about a 40-minute boat ride to the dive sites there. At Murex Manado, we have 15 cottages located around the gardens with AC and hot showers. You can hear some of them are located close to the fish ponds, and you can hear the water running. The rooms, the pictures on the right are our new rooms that we just renovated. Food in the restaurant is a fusion between Western, Indonesian, and local Manadonese food. If you have any dietary requirements, we can also comply with them. We have over 50 dive sites within easy reach, either on Manado Bay or in Bangka National Park. And on those dives, you can see up to 30, 40 turtles every dive, as well as a lot of schooling of fish. a new activity at the resort, which is free diving. We have our in-house free diving instructor, Jiman. And a few weeks ago, we had our first free diving student in our pool. So besides diving, we also have a few land tours around the area. One of them is in the highlands, where you can go up a volcano and see some rice fields. And the second one is in Takoko National Park with some tarsius monkeys, which are the little monkeys, and the black macaques, and a lot of species of birds. And you can access the national park from all three locations. So the next location is Murex, Bangka. Bangka Island opened in 2002, and it's on a white sandy beach with an amazing house reef, which you can dive or snorkel. And it has 13 oceanfront cottages, and we're working to expand on this. And we also offer 6 deluxe hillside cottages with built-in day beds on the veranda. And we have solar panels installed during the day, and at night we run off a generator to power the AC.
I'll just say it was a huge investment. There's no, with solar power or any alternatives here, there's no government support. I did this about 3 years ago. And man, during this time, it's been fantastic. We almost never turn on the generator now during this COVID, which is a massive expense with fuel and oil and so forth. So we're really grateful we did this when we did it.
The restaurant, it's a fusion between Western and Indonesian and local Manadonese food. And on Bangka Island, we usually do 2 dives in the morning, and then you come back to the resort for lunch and either do an afternoon dive or a night dive, or sometimes both. All our dive guides are photography and marine biology trained. We offer customized slates for our guests if they want to know more about what they're looking at underwater. So when you're diving around Bangka, you usually see some white tip reef sharks, amazing corals, and the occasional dugong. But mostly on Bangka, we promote the healthy ecosystem of the reefs and the fish.
So it's a short video about the diving in Bangka area.
Murex Bangka is located right across from the mainland, and our house reef is pretty amazing. I mean, I've been going to Bangka since I was a baby, and I've never been bored. I would either play on the beach, go snorkeling on the house reef, or go diving. And snorkeling is also great for kids, and if there are any snorkelers in your group, I promise you they will not be disappointed. We also offer paddle boards and sea kayaks for those who want to explore the island a bit through the water. And our sunset is a great place to have a drink and relax before dinner. So at all three locations, we have a coral garden project. And on the one on Bangka, we partnered with Ocean Gardener, who is based on Bali. And we started about a year ago, 18 months, and already there's so much progress with the coral. We use it to repair the reefs that have been damaged by the storms. Our dive guides help manage the farm, and if we have guests that are interested in about learning more about coral, they're also welcome to help. You can plant your own coral or help restore the broken reefs that have been damaged by the storms. This is one of the frames.
You could see the orange in there. That's the metal frame, and the coral has just completely grown over it. It's only about 18 months. It's amazing.
And so the last location is Lembeh Resort.
Okay, Jules and Tarkan, you're going to take it from here?
So hi everyone, my name is Julia, and I've been with this two company for 15 years. I am so excited to be here and then explain you about our small resort located in the Lembeh Strait. During the voyage from Bangka to Lembeh, it takes about 60 minutes by boat. And as usual, our special trip, you are going to have a 2 dive on the way from Bangka to Lembeh. You will arrive at Lembeh, your luggage already inside your room, and then you'll be able to have lunch. And then you have a chance to do the afternoon dive, which is around 2:30. We have really nice house reef, also is optional. And then the night dive, of course, is really amazing in the strait. And then as you can see, this is our public area, which is we really have a nice sun deck nearby the pool. And then also all the public buildings like dive center, the equipments area and restaurant, all in the same locations and nearby each other. This is one and only villa in the strait so far, which is we have one with a private swimming pool as well as a butler service on site. And this is a view throughout the strait from the swimming pool. As well, we have a small terrace in front of this villa, which is we can set it up a breakfast if you wish, and then hang out with your families or your partner with a beer or wine and enjoy the beautiful of the sunsets from this terrace. We do have our 13 luxury cottages, which is all located in front of the resort and has really nice view of the oceans as well as really a fantastic sunsets view, and some part of 6 rooms are able to see the sunrise as well. And all rooms, it's a huge bedrooms with king size bed, and then we also for all three location we can accommodate for twin or double bed, and then sometimes we have a bigger room for the triple chair and quad chair as well. And then we do have over 6 garden view rooms, which is located behind the really green lush garden, which is close to the restaurant and the dive center. So this is really great idea for a solo traveler if they wish. All the amenities inside and facility is the same as the luxury cottages, but this room is more smaller than the luxury cottages. And this is a nice view of the garden from the veranda. The end of the day, a nice way to finish your fantastic day. You can have some beers or some wines in the swimming pool in the area and see the sunset. As you can see, the volcano is called Mountain Klabat, which is the highest mountain in North Sulawesi. And the wide selection of the local and European cuisine, as well as we are also available if there is a request for the vegetarian or any other dietary requirements. As well, we have a nice spot in the restaurant, a bar, and then we do have some spacious juice from the alcohol to for the wines and liquor and stuff. This is our boats, which is the design of the boats is going to be the same on the 3 locations. Is fast boats and comfortable, which is we have a sun decks as well, as the people really wants to see and then enjoy the sun after the dive. And all the boats equipped with oxygen tanks and all the safety equipments. As well, we have a toilets and some of the boats have a shower as well in the back of the boat. We have a huge camera room located nearby the equipment area in the dive center. So all the photographer can stock their cameras and charging the batteries in this room. And then we have a lot of international plugs as well. And then special towels for the cameras only, because on the boat we have another towels for divers. And this is really a favorite room for all photographers that normally visit us in Lembeh Resort. The cameras at Lembeh Resort opened in 2009, which is our first photo pro in-house. It was Steve Fish. And then we able to join with a backscatter in September 2019, which is cameras at Lembeh Resort is the first authorized dealer of the backscatter. And we do sell some stuff, accessories for the cameras, for videos, and as well as we have the Photo Pro in-house, as well 3 of the Photo Pro assistants, which be able to help you out if you have any question around the underwater photographer or videographer, as well as we are offering a course. We have a full-time marine biologist who are training our dive guides about the animal behaviors and stuff, and also help maintain our house reef on the 3 locations. We have a really nice house reef and maintain on the three locations by training from our marine biologists. Everyone is helping out on the beach cleanup as well as the house reef cleanup and couple of dive sites cleanup. And then this is the most iconic critters in the strait, which is we have 7 types of octopus: blue-ring octopus, coconut octopus, mimic octopus, hairy octopus. We have algae octopus. So all this type of octopus is very rare and unusual looks. And this is the weird hairy frogfish, the black hairy frogfish, and the flamboyant cuttlefish. So like we have like unusual critters in the strait, and then it's really nice to see and explore by your own. As Petra said, as of course we have a guide read you as well during this dive trip. It's 4-to-1. And this is the special mandarin fish, which is you can see at dusk. We used to have our mandarin fish couple years ago in our house reef, but I think they are moved and then going to make other families. And then this is short videos about all the underwater critters in the strait. Besides the day dive and night dive, on both 3 locations, we also offer a blackwater and bonfire dive available that guests can simply book on site. And then in this blackwater dive, you will see really weird critters that not unusual looks. Like this is the algae octopus, looks like a squid, and then this is like a butterfly fish, and this is the algae of the mototi octopus. It's really weird. It's like a transparent, and this is a nautilus. And we come out now with the Lembeh Foundation. So the Lembeh Foundation just officially as one of the official from the government of Indonesia community program back in August 2019, which is we want to simply give back to the community by supporting the local sports teams and the local Sunday school choir in the other community to the village nearby the area. And then also we have this educational program that's helped to support the children in the village by providing the funds for schooling and also teaches the next generation how to live comfortably without compromising the possibilities for the generations to come. Every week, these villagers nearby the Lembeh Resort, it's called Pintu Kota Kecil Village. It's our pilot projects with Lembeh Foundation, which is we try to educate the villagers, especially the kids, about our fun plastic program, how they can be recycled, and then how can they be reused for their needed daily needed. And then by creating this program, they can easily earn money out of from the trash. As Lembe Foundation built a trash bank, which is located nearby the resort, and then they can take their trash, all kind of trash, already separating by the bottles, the plastic bottles and stuff, and the other plastics, and they can measuring it, and we pay per kilos, and then they can receive money, cash money, or they can change with rice. This picture we take before Corona back in 2018. We also in-house staff in the Lembeh Strait, in Lembeh Resort especially. We are cleaning daily on our beach as well as during the dive. Our guides used to bring the trash smash back. So then whenever we see plastics, we pick it up. You know, just a small things we think, but it's going to be impact all the environmental and awareness in the Lembeh Strait. Because of we have this program built a library in the Pintu Kota Kecil for the kids that they can use this library for learning. We open a donation center in the website of the Lembeh Foundation, which is lembehfoundation.org. So then guests can choose if they would like to donate either for the schools, either for the pack for the family's pack, as well as we included the Nasafa filter, the drinking water filter, and then we are happy to take this and then spread it out to the villagers with following our program. Last year, actually, we are able to donate about 70 family package to 70 families in the village who really need this donation during this pandemic. This is the fun part every year. So next year will be our 10th annual Capturing Critters in Lembeh, which is this year we are in the ninth of the annual Capturing Critters in Lembeh workshop. And then we make a very different like before, because normally we have international guests and we have international pros, but for this year we able to make it really useful for our dive guides. The 3 photo assistants who've been training by the photo pros, couple of photo pros, it's giving a lecture as well as the workshop, and they do have really nice 2 days of the workshop this year with the dive guides. So we have a couple of dive guides already take this course before. So they are mentoring the other dive guide that don't be able to do the course when we are busy. So you can have a look in the Lembeh Resort Facebook for these event updates. And then for next year's, we are actually have 2 workshops because we have a lot of requests, as well as the postponement from this year and from last year as well. So we are going to have Erin Quigley as well together with Jen and Joel Penner from New Media Soup that will be our Photo Pro guests, and they be able to give all the presentations and all the tip and trick during the workshop, which is going to be from the 15th to 22nd of January for the first workshop, and then the second one will be 26th January until the 2nd of February. So if you interest to join, this is the second workshop actually almost full. The first one already full. You can contact us to ask any questions, and you can book through Fly and See as well if you really want to join this workshop soon. Thank you very much for your time to see the virtual about our 3 resorts, and hopefully we are looking forward to diving with you for your next diving holiday.
I want to say a couple of things before we get to the Q&A. On our website, you can actually find the Passport to Paradise package under dive vacations, just to give you an idea of what that would look like. And then we do have a group trip next year in March that still has 2 spaces available, hosted by Are You for Scuba in New York State. So you can join them as well. Look under group adventures all the time and the dive vacation packages, and you can get an idea of what we can offer. We hope that we would earn your booking when you're ready to travel. Let's go to the Q&A. Irene, do you want to take it away?
Do you get hurricanes?
No, we are. Good question. We're on the southern hemisphere, so they would be called a tropical storm. Actually, we're sort of just a few degrees north of the equator. Indonesia, by and large, does not get severe storms. We get remnants of what goes on in the Philippines. And historically speaking, it's why pirates had a rough time in these waters here, because ships would be stranded for months, and you'd have to wait for the next wind cycle. We do get some storms, but diving is 365 days a year. We rarely cancel a dive.
Is there malaria concerns in this area, and any other immunizations required?
So absolutely, there's malaria and dengue fever throughout the country, throughout the tropics. I mean, we've never had an issue ourselves. It does go around. We advise just caution. Have spray with you. Use sprays and so forth. A lot of the anti-malarial medicine is not very healthy for divers. So proceed with caution. However, at the resorts itself, there'll be less mosquitoes to worry about, just because we're pretty active with not having stagnant water around and so forth. If you're going to do the land tours, bring some repellent and just be mindful.
Any idea of when Indonesia will reopen to international tourism?
We don't know. We've had a year of pontificating what possibly could happen, and we just don't know. If you do have people who want to stay a little bit longer term, there is a visa available that we can arrange. It's about $300. The impeding factor right now is the 5-day quarantine, which actually, this is Indonesia. There's ways around that for a little bit more money as well. But for general tourists, I simply cannot say. Petra and Irene, we can keep in touch with that. We are in touch with expatriate-owned as well as Indonesian-owned legal advisors on this situation. They just don't want to make a mistake. That may lead into the question of vaccinations. They are starting to roll out. Tourism workers are considered frontline workers. It's going to be a slow process. We don't know, we're all registered to get vaccinated, and we do have friends now that have received the vaccination. It's just going to be a longer process. So sorry, we don't have a specific answer, but that's the best answer we can give right now.
And we're staying on top of that too for those countries in the world that are still closed. The caveat is that you get to listen to all the questions before we get to the draw, and you need to still be present in order to be able to win.
Michael is asking about the water temperatures for diving.
28, 29. What's that in Fahrenheit? 80, 78 to 82 in Fahrenheit?
How long would a trip be to visit all three resorts? Maybe minimum? What do you think?
We're open every day of the year. Our starting Passport to Paradise package is 15 nights. But this is a really good question. 12 nights is doable. We find anything less than 12 nights, people are better off doing a combination of two properties, either Lembeh and Bangka, or Lembeh and Manado, and you can dive Bangka along the way. We could still do a boat trip. And you could stay at one property and do day trips to the other two as well, if you don't have the time. But it is a long haul, and we suggest a minimum of 12 nights, and we could do, 4, 3, 5, something like that. And we could do any combination that you like.
In terms of strong currents, is the diving okay for novice divers?
That's a good question. So in the Strait, we'll take you to places where there's relatively no low or no current by virtue of the fact people like to take photographs. 60, 70% of the guests there like to take photographs. Because of the explosion of speciation in Lembeh Strait, that's by virtue of these alcoves, these big alcoves. And so there is less current and there's more activity, breeding activity, which is why we have so many crazy critters there. Bangka and Bunaken, there can be current, yes, and that's what makes the dives fantastic. As far as beginner divers, people get certified with us, or there's new divers.
I did it.
The thing is, we have a very strong dive team. It's not uncommon for us, at least for the first couple of days, to put just one person, one dive guide with 2 guests, or one dive guide with 1 guest if needed. Yeah, but it's absolutely a destination for beginner divers, yeah.
Is there an equivalent of the CDC that Indonesia is following?
Yeah, WHO for sure to follow. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Average depth of dives?
We go to your certification level. We normally do not exceed 30 meters or 100 feet. If someone's advanced certification, we can have a dive guide go down to, what would that be, 125 feet? But the great thing about diving with us is there's so much activity in the shallower depths that the dives, you can dive much longer than, for sure hour, 70 minutes is common for us. 65, 70 minutes is a very common dive. And during your safety stop, there's plenty of stuff to see everywhere. In the Straits, generally, the diving is not as deep, 25 meters maybe.
Is nitrox available at all the resorts?
Yes.
Do you have camera rental and rental for housing?
Yes, we do. All 3 locations, we can have this arranged. It's nice to know that beforehand, but if someone shows up and their 3rd day says, hey, I'd like to rent a camera, no problem.
What is there to do for non-divers?
The different resorts offer different things. Murex, Manado, the town is not that far away, so it may sound funny, but oftentimes people go in and watch a movie, go to karaoke, or go to the mall. It's pretty good. There's different land tours to do around. On Bangka, there's walks to the village. There's, of course, the snorkeling, the kayak, the paddleboard, but it's more, you're on a white sandy beach, so bring a book. In Lembeh, there is the village tours next door. There's a tour in town, and again, it's more for relaxing. So I think non-divers are going to come knowing that there's going to be some downtime.
We are giving away tonight a 9-night Passport to Paradise package for one person. Includes 15 dives, the meal. So you can extend this on either end. You can bring a second person. Obviously, you'd pay for that. Those of you who have been on this for us, it's a random number calculator. And then all the names of the people that registered for tonight. So we have between 1 and, actually, I think 1 is Lexi. I'm not going to have you win. So between 2 and 103, going to go to this random.org. And, okay, between 2 and 103. I know not everybody is on this call. We'll just see if the winner is still here. Number 68. Let's see. Mike Bridgman. I'm pretty sure, Mike, I still saw you on there. Yay! Congratulations. Fabulous. Thank you, Danny and team, for presenting tonight, giving us this prize, and just doing an all-around fabulous job for sustainable practices, both in resort and dive managing. And you've got a fabulous team. I can just highly recommend all of it. And I know there's a number of people on this presentation who have been there and who can't wait to get back. And so in the meantime, we'll be doing these presentations. And in 2 weeks' time, we're actually going to go to Belize. And looking forward to getting a presentation from Blackbird Key Resort. Again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Danny and Julia and Lexi and Tarkan, for being on here as well. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're going to say goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.